The feminization of male-majority spaces will serve as one of the biggest, if not the biggest, crimes of entertainment and potentially society, full stop. Case in point, last year we had the unmitigated failure that was Concord. Fast forward a year and here we are, looking at one of the women on the development team and not even thinking as much about the release of this hundreds of millions of dollars invested by Sony, okay? Looking at the culmination of nearly a decade of work and not even saving something. Not even saving it as a keepsake, okay? It's just a memorial of potentially, good memories or maybe even just, a good laugh from time to time. But no. A Concord developer's commemorative plaque, okay? A commemorative release plaque is being auctioned at a Goodwill store. Threw it away, not quite in the trash, but in one of those big blue bins that is right next to the trash. This is how little they actually care about these studios, that they want to come in and start preaching to the toxic gamer fan base. They don't give a shit about the stuff that they were working on because, guess what? All of these people that say that they're the real gamers, okay, that they need to go in there and they need to make spaces safe for real gamers so that gamers of color and female gamers feel welcome and included in the spaces. No, they'll just throw this shit to the curb the moment that it becomes too much of an inconvenience. This is, I guess, wild, man. Okay, a commemorative plaque given to developers to celebrate the release of Concord is currently up for auction at a Goodwill store in the United States. The plaque, which will have been given to members of the game's development team to mark its full release, contains the game's artwork, a game disc, and the name of the developer. The plaque is being auctioned, contains the name Chelsea Grace on it, the founding Free Gunner North Star Crew worldwide Concord launch, August 23rd, 2024. And then the game was shut down not but 10 days later. Lol. According to Concord's critics, Chelsea Green was a member of the art department at Concord developer Firewalk Studios, where she was an outsourcing and co-development lead. It's not clear whether her plaque is being auctioned because she chose to donate it, because she never received it, and someone else had it, or for some other reason. Well, here's the thing: nobody thought enough about it to either take it back from Firewalk Studios, or she thought so little of it she just threw it away. At time of writing, the plaque has received 34 bids and currently sits at $2,526. Goodwill has more than 150 separate organizations across the US and Canada, and yeah, the auction site being used by more than 130 of them to sell notable items. And the fact that this thing has already generated $2,500 in bids is going to make it the most profitable thing associated with Concord, full stop. And yeah, we had documented its collapse. We had looked at the development team. We had seen what they have produced, and we could go ahead and make an educated guess even before that August 23rd launch and realize that, this shit is going to suck. We didn't realize how bad it was going to suck or how quickly Sony was even going to realize that it sucked. But thanks to, at this point in time, like about a decade of the industry being subverted by people that hate the audience and at least have their own agendas to push, we could go ahead and connect the dots on that one. So that's why people are now looking to the future, and one of the most anticipated games on the horizon, Elder Scrolls 6, whenever that does come out, and they're legitimately starting to get worried. Now, as somebody who thinks that the Elder Scrolls series, it's probably not the most, but it is a considerably overrated franchise. For me, it's either Metal Gear Solid or the Elder Scrolls, which is the most overrated, but I don't need to catch that much heat right now. I'll just go ahead and leave that hot take out there for a minute. But gamers are worried women developers will ruin Elder Scrolls 6, except for they've been at the studio for decades. Yeah, which is very interesting in and of itself. But yeah, there was a post that went viral earlier this week, and the old pattern recognition segments of people's headeroos started to do an old dancy doodle, and on the side it's kind of funny, right? Because this is from Pink News, just bastion of a credible journalism, but they're still allowing ads to live rent free. Okay, the most memorable part of Starfield: angry gamer bros can't handle choosing pronouns in Starfield. How's that Bethesda title doing? 6 people still playing that? And Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is already being branded woke by angry gamers. Yeah, it's another reason why people are trepidatious about Elder Scrolls 6, because of all of the changes that they could have made for Oblivion Remastered. It was, at least for the people that have fond memories of the original from 2006, it's ostensibly a faithful remake, except for in your character creator screen where you have body type 1 and 2. Why did you have to do that? Why did you have to do that? Oh, because we know what the people that work at Bethesda care about more than everything else, which is why people are looking at Elder Scrolls 6 and going, I don't know. Furious anti-woke gamers are losing it that the development team for Elder Scrolls 6 features women with dyed hair, despite the fact that they have worked there for decades. Okay, the development studio and creators of the Elder Scrolls series, Bethesda Studios, were once again branded woke by right-wing gamers and enraged that it employs women. In a viral post on Twitter on Wednesday, shared screenshots of three senior Bethesda employees, all women, during respective interviews, and the poster writing, "The Elder Scrolls, bro, I'd start getting worried." And yeah, we have one of the takes. Okay, I think that they're referencing a Cabrutus tweet, but this one has 6.7 million views, and well, this is exactly what got posted. And yeah, as this caption is, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be wild, feels like a bad joke. And yeah, you got three people, right? You got Angela Broder, production and studio director. Okay, you got a senior character artist, and Christine Meester, and Megan Sawyer with crazy eyes and blue hair, senior environment artist. But hey, they didn't always look like that. Okay, they looked like, well, regular women at one point in time. But hey, that mind virus, man, it gets you. Gets you between the ears and apparently in the jaw as well, because holy shit, is it also incumbent on them over the quote-unquote decades they've been working at Bethesda to never miss a free donut day. But pointing out and looking specifically at Christine Meester. Okay, she's the lead character artist at Bethesda Game Studio. Yes, where she started off the contract work in the 2000s with PBA Tours Bolding 2. Morrowind was her first Elder Scrolls project, and oh yeah, her work with Bethesda continues today, and credited with her work on Starfield. Oh shit, and character artist, okay, lead character artist, yeah, for Morrowind, now for Oblivion, and for Skyrim, okay, and this is the reason why I think that the Elder Scrolls is so, at least Oblivion and Skyrim, those are the ones that I'm most familiar with. I had a friend that was really deep into Morrowind, and I just thought that it looked like janky crap, but I digress for a second. Anybody tell me anything about characters of Oblivion and Skyrim? Like, okay, I know that, a lot of people play Skyrim, but it's mostly just a big open sandbox that people use for mods and Thomas the Tank Engine replacing a bunch of dragons. Like, outside of that, man, the characters that are in the game, they're kind of memorable for one thing, actually for two things: constantly repeating the dialogue, and then I took an arrow to the knee, and then also being horrifically ugly. So that's what she's doing. I wouldn't necessarily say that that is, something that you should be pointing out, but as V makes mention, and I think that it's a very important and it's a very salient point to make. So yeah, as frittata, the people that are mocking you here are actually responsible for everything you love about Bethesda. Really? Yeah, so we're the same people who made The Matrix, and yeah, I'd go a little bit farther. Yeah, Matrix 4, I've seen Revelations and Revolutions in the theater. Not great movies, still made by the, at the time, Wachowski brothers, but now the Wachowski, I actually don't even know how to finish that sentence, and I wish, and that's not even a joke, I legitimately don't know. But yeah, somebody else is also pointing out, Sir D, I don't even know, but somebody else saying, actually, they've worked at Bethesda for a long time, I don't know why you're so upset about this, but he's right to point out that they're not DEI hires and that they're veterans. However, I think that they're missing the point of what many of us are saying. Them being veterans is meaningless. We all witnessed the massive psychological ideological shift in progressives, which is most likely why The Matrix 4 is an unrecognizable disaster of a movie, and that did a little more than tarnish the legacy of its first three. I mean, you take a look at Russell T Davies coming back to Doctor Who, somebody who was competent in their role 20 years ago and it simply just came back as a bitter old gay man to push their ideological agenda. We just got to look a little bit further into the future with the Russo brothers and connect some dots, okay, of how Avengers Doomsday is going to come out. If you just take a look at their work that they did at Netflix, all right, the Electric State, anyone, $360 million up like that on a movie that nobody talked about minutes after it was launched. Like, you look at the examples of, gaming studio after gaming studio, time and time again. They might have done some good work in the past, but now they've lost it. Considerably lost it. So yeah, people are right to point this stuff out. I will not hold that against them. And a more recent example, going back to Cabrutus, who made the very first tweet right here. Elder Scrolls, bro, I'm starting to get worried. He had 10 million views on this one, okay? Like he points out, I'm seeing some people claiming that since these women are in a Bethesda for a long time, this post is just a grift, and that the Elder Scrolls 6 is actually in good hands because of that. Yeah, meet Patrick Weeks, exactly. He worked in BioWare for almost 20 years, and he was either the writer of the entire original Mass Effect trilogy, which I can confirm is fucking awesome, and also the entire Dragon Age franchise. He obviously was also the lead writer behind The Veilguard, which he got fired from BioWare after the disastrous flop of that title. See, being in a company for a long time and having done good things previously doesn't guarantee that somebody won't end up getting infected by the progressivist virus and starts destroying beloved franchise. Your research before posting nonsense. Thanks. Yeah, exactly. Introducing myself to the team as a lead writer and Dragon Romance specialist at today's meeting. Anyone who wants me to present something on Friday knows what they've signed up for. Oh, look at me with my dragons. Oh, look at me with my the dyed blue hair. And if I recall right, just going back to some of the old Veilguard coverage from at the tail end of last year, he also spazzed out on gamers who were just simply critical of his shoddy writing to begin with. So yeah, I don't blame people when they connect the dots and when they look at something and they're very skeptical about it prior to release. I'm a little bit more critical of people who want to continue to perpetuate false narratives, including Cabrutus, when it comes to, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being woke slop. It's like the games out there, it's not woke at all, you fucking idiots who constantly perpetuate that bullshit, but I digress. You can look at the marketing of a game and assess it, if it's something that you want to play or not. If you think that it's going to be ideologically driven or not, that's totally fine. That's acceptable. That's what marketing material is for. It is supposed to present what exactly they're doing and give you a snippet of the gameplay, and 9 times out of 9, and I'll give you the one for fun, in recent years we have not been led astray by any of the marketing of games that have been out there. And you take a look at the number of fucking disasters that we've had to deal with recently, and yeah, one side of this conversation seems to be hitting 1,000 and the other tends to be on the side of pink news. I'll let you draw your conclusions as you see fit. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been John Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.